Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Power Ghost Book 2. This is Season 4, Episode 5, and this is also the mid-season finale. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also, subscribe to my channel, and you can leave your comments below. All right, let's get started. I'm going to tell this episode, or at least review this episode, or recap it. I have to kind of say it by person. um, just to give you a heads up on how I feel about it. It was kind of meh. For it to be the mid-season finale, I didn't like how it ended. It was just like, okay, cool. It felt like the network made a decision to um, split it in half after the season had already been shot. That's my opinion. All right, I'll probably start with Tariq and talk about his story a lot and then try to switch off a little bit. So Anya and Tariq, they hooked up and they go back to Tariq's room. The morning after, Anya is getting dressed to go, and Tariq wants to set up another time to get together. And she said, "You're cute, but no." Well, Tariq said, "Well, they'll be having more parties later on, and if you are interested, let me have your number." She ended up giving her his number, or giving him her number, and she left. Later on in the episode, Tariq is dealing with what was the next thing that he had to deal with. Um, well, I'll just do it in order for now. Anya goes home, and she's met by Noma. Noma is getting on her because I guess she wasn't really supposed to be out, and she ended up doing it anyways. um, Noma ended up finding the drugs that were introduced by the party. That's Tariq's and Braden's stuff. Anya was like, I know you cannot think that what I had going on, you had me in private school forever and a day. You didn't think that I would actually not try coke or whatever. Um, of course, Anya's Noma's like, it's not safe for you to be out. You need to let me know. Da 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 da. But she's still kind of like, I'm good, mom. Let me be. Noma goes and confronts Effie because Anya just tell her where she got it from, which was from Stansbury. So Effie says, "So you're selling my child drugs?" And Effie's like, "No, I'm not. Um, that's not mine." She shows the package, and then she's like, "Well, who is it?" She's like, "Effie, I don't know who it is." And then Noma looks at Effie. Effie is silent because she's like, "You have to have some type of clue of who's doing this." Effie doesn't say. You can tell that Noma figures out what's going on. But we'll break off from there for right now and go over to the Tejada's home. Um, Monet has made a big breakfast and has invited all the children to come over. Kane thought it was just going to be him, and he was pissed when he saw that Drew and Diana were there. And Monet said, I really need you here for a family meeting, da 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 da. And Kane said, I have nothing to say to them. You let them live, and you forgave them, but I'm not forgiving right now, blah, 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 blah. Before he leaves, Diana's trying to get on his case, and he says, right now, congratulations, you having this child, but the person that you're having a baby with, you should have never done it with. He's the one that's interfered with our family, blah, 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 blah. And basically, he's just saying it's a mistake to have a child by him, and then he leaves. Of course, him and Drew kind of was getting, having words too. Um, um, Monet's trying to get Drew to stay so they can talk about the family first. And we need to get this business going again. But Drew is not interested whatsoever. And then he ends up leaving. Monet talks with Diana about the baby. She said, when I found out you were pregnant, I said that you need to make your own decisions on what you want to do with your child. But I'm here for you and your family, and that's my grandbaby, whatever your choice is going to be. Da 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 da. All right, so Davis, he has lost his assistant. His assistant says, "Hey, you're not paying me, so I gotta go." And at the same time, Brayden and Tariq they come in and as the assistant is leaving, they give him his cut on what's going on with the drugs, and he said that that was just perfect timing. Um, did anything else happen then? I don't think so. Let's get over to Detective Carter. I really don't understand why he's here. Like, we're getting this backstory, and he wants to get revenge on the same factors. Okay, cool, whatever. Y'all, I just don't see it, and it's not really cohesive with what's going on in the story, in my opinion. Unless y'all have any other thoughts, but whatever. It's just so. Of course, he's meeting with all the other TSA people. Um, Richard Tate, or not Richard, whichever one of the Tates is. Um, Detective Tate is there. They give feedback on what it was like questioning Monet and also Tariq, and it looks like that they are turning on each other. And Detective Carter says, we need to turn up the heat. Tate says, he'll go back to Reed, but he thinks that it may be a little bit too soon to go back to him as of yet. And then another officer was like, well, maybe you're too close to the case and you're probably not really trying to help us out or whatever, giving him a hard time. So basically, I guess Carter said, we have this way of doing things and we're going to do it my way yet again. But that was it for them. Um, there's another party. And Tariq is there. Braden is, oh, wait, before we go there, Braden and his girlfriend, after them waking up in the morning, the girlfriend ends up reaching for pills. And Braden says, don't you think that's too early for that? And she was like, don't be judgy. This has nothing to do with drugs. I have sickle cell. And she describes what sickle cell is doing to her body. And she says that she has the medicine to kind of help with the pain, to try to tolerate the pain, and then the coke is to deal with the other stuff that happens, like depression and stress and all that good stuff. But she says that she is no addict and all this good stuff, blah 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 blah. And she makes Braden promise not to tell anyone, because when people find out about her, they'll treat her like she's glass, and she doesn't want that. And Braden says, I'll definitely never tell anyone that, and you can come to me with anything, blah 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 blah. So before we get to the party, there's another scene with Tariq and Braden. They are playing the game or whatever, and it's kind of over, but you can see that Tariq is very frustrated. He lets Braden knows that he was with Anya, and then also Diana's pregnant with his child. And then Braden was like, "When did that happen?" And he said it was one time. It was with after Epi, blah 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 blah. So later on, he runs into Diana because he's like at this point like feeling like there's nothing that he has in control, and he's just kind of needing to get some type of clarity on the things that are going on in his life. Later on, he talks with Diana. They run into each other, and both of them are kind of untrusting of each other because of how Tariq feels that she was trying to kill his mom. She said it wasn't like that. This is really stuff that I had going on with my mom. Blah 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 blah. And then also she said, "Well, you had a gun at my head, and now I'm pregnant with your child. Like I don't know how you think I'm supposed to feel too in this whole situation." So they go back into the back to start talking about this baby or whatever. Um, and basically, she said it's going to be my choice on whatever I decide about this baby, and I'll let you know. And Tariq was okay with that, and he left. Now the party. They're at the party. Noma and Kane, they show up, and basically you can tell how Kane is her right hand man and her muscle, and speaking certain things. Like, of course, he's been waiting to get rid of Tariq forever and a day. So Noma says, "You know what? You underestimated me, and I overestimated you. You know that this was supposed to be your time to you weren't supposed to be in the business or whatever." Tariq denies everything, da 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 da. But then she says, "Let's step outside." Right when they were supposed to step outside, Anya is actually there. So at this point, of course, now there's this thing um, of Anya. She's it was basically like, "Oh, so you know Anya, and that's your mom." Blah 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 blah. At this point, this is kind of derailed what Noma wanted to do. So Basically, they got to go home. She tells Kane, right now I can't let my daughter know the business that I'm in, so we just got to think of something else right now. Tariq goes back inside and he goes and finds Braden. Braden's there just sniffing coke, and Tariq's like, "What are you doing? Blah 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 blah. Why are you blah 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 blah? That does it have to do with this girl here?" So then the girl says, "Keep on talking. I know all about the business." And Tariq was like, "Braden, how does she know all this stuff?" And Braden says, "She figured it out on her own, but she's good people." And Tariq said, wait until you break up with her and see how she's acting," which is very true. I don't understand why he's so trusting of this girl, but I think Braden needs an outlet. So then he's like, "Well, look, I'm doing all this just to take a little pressure off me. You know, everything in Tariq's life trumps over stuff that I have going on, and there's no way that I can really say what's happening to me." And I think both parties had uh, points during this argument. It's like you got to get yourself under control, and this ain't it with her. Da, 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 and sniffing up all this crap. So then Tariq leaves, all that good stuff. Later on that night, I think Braden takes the girlfriend back to her place, and she's talking regarding. Braden apologizes about Tariq. Tariq's just going through a lot of stuff. She said that she understands and all this good stuff. I knew that he was going to be a dick anyways, so I ended up putting some acid in his water bottle. And Braden's like, What? What did you do that for?" So then he runs to their room, and Tariq is already tripping off of it. He's seeing all of this images and hallucinations, and then all of a sudden he blacks out. In this blackout montage, he's seeing, I guess, years into the future with Diana and his son. Um, Someone ends up trying to shoot him and her and all this good stuff, and Diana was like, "I knew that this was going to happen because you were in this life." So she pulls out her gun and is about to shoot him. Blah 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 blah. Then it flips over to this like mirror. I don't want to say image of Tariq. Tariq is giving Tariq guidance and saying that you're standing in your own way, and it's time for you to step up and be the person that you have a fear of being. So after that, it's kind of his clarity type of moment, even with the acid. Who knew acid could really help? There was another scene. Brayden goes to see Zion. Zion is asking about the situation about the Romans are back up and functioning. They were supposed to be helping me out, but they're not helping me out. So what gives? Brayden ends up telling him that there's a woman named Noma that is supplying her. That the I'm sorry, the Russians are supplying her. Zion ends up finding Noma. Noma is out with the guy from last week that she needs help with her business, getting her jet business together. So he's there and he makes a little bit of scene. Well, this sends off a red flag to the guy, and Noma comes home and talks with Davis. Well, talks with Kane and is trying to figure out what's going on. How did he know Zion know anything about me? And Kane said, "I didn't say anything." Davis comes in and Kane said, "Aha, it was you," because she asked, "Do you know Zion?" Like, "Yeah, he's one of my clients." Da 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 da. Davis denies that he did anything like that. Da 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 da. But what I can do is talk to Wiley, that's the guy, and try to get things squared away. Um, and Kane said, we can talk to Zion. So Kane and Noma, they go over to um, Zion's place, his Fight Club place, and try to talk to him in regards to, we're good, da 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 da. Well, Kane got talked into a fight with Zion. Kane ended up winning, and that kind of messed with his ego. And Noma's like, you got to be on guard right now after what you just pulled. It's not going to be good for you. So we got to be on guard. Da 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 da. So Davis goes and meets with Wiley and comes back and tells Noma that, it did send up a red flag, but it wasn't as bad as you might think. And the jet deal is still a go. Um, at this point, I think, yeah, Davis and Noma end up having sex. I said, what? Okay, this is a wild, weird season. To me, it's kind of all over the place, but whatever. What was next? What was next? What was next? Um, Monet and well, Drew. Drew goes to this art exhibit and he meets up with this white woman, and he's talking about this portrait. She's giving her feedback, and the lady was like, "Are you an artist?" Um, he says, "No, I'm aspiring." What the lady said, "Either you are an artist or you're not." But then she said that there was some type of exhibit for upcoming artists or aspiring artists to display their work. You have two pieces, and you might you could end up in this type of program. So that's kind of sparked this interest in regards to that. Later on, Monet meets with Drew. Monet's doing her best to try to get Drew back into the business and all that. He ends up saying, I don't want to be in the business. I can give you a supplier because that's what Mo needs, but that's it. I'm only interested in being a family, but you're still not in the place of being this family person that I need. So finally, because he's really just being, if you want to call it disrespectful, I don't know if you want to call it disrespectful or not, but anyways, um, he's just really going off. It's like you really have been this selfish woman. You've always put the drug business before yourself. While Drew was walking out, Monet says, "You're right. I have done that to you all, and I'm sorry for that." And Drew was shocked that she actually admitted that. And at this point, there was like a breaking point for them. And now he says, I think we can be a family. Um, Tariq meets up with Diana. Diana was letting him know that, I've had people say that I need to get rid of the baby, or this could be a new start. And I wanted to make my own decision about this baby, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it, and I'm not going to be a part of this life or whatever. Tariq said, because this is after the whole hallucination, Diana, I just want to let you know that I'm ready to be a father. She invites him to come to her first ultrasound, and he does accept to go. Monet and Drew and some other people, they're supposed to be meeting to get drugs, and it's actually the Officer Carter and all his people are there to stop whatever was supposed to happen. Officer Carter all of a sudden tells Monet, "You can do all the drugs and all this good stuff. What we're going to do is just you got to make sure that no civilians get hurt or be killed. You just need to do drugs. You just need to do what you do." And they was like, "Are you some dirty cop? You want some a cut or something?" It's like, no, none of this makes sense to me because it's like, okay, I thought you were trying to get Tariq or whatever, but now you're just kind of letting somebody do drugs for what? That didn't really make sense to me. I'm sorry. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Um, Anything else before I go on to the grand finale? Um, no, not that I can remember. All right, so Tariq goes and goes to the ultrasound, and they see the baby is just a little bean right now. And Diana says, I need you totally out of this lifestyle. That's the only way that I'm going to raise my baby. If you cannot do that, goodbye. So Diana leaves, and Tariq's there, still pondering. So it's like it's not a real good to me finale. It looks like the second half may be better from what I was seeing. It looks like Drew was in an asylum or going into an asylum. I don't know, but maybe it's more exciting. But I love the show. But if I was just watching the mid-season finale, I wouldn't want to return back. It comes back in September, September 6th. So that's our break for 2 months now. Sorry to break your heart. But y'all give me your thoughts on this. Give me your thoughts on the season thus far. How are you liking it? It's just I'm liking that the Tejadas are being developed and told more. I can appreciate that. But I just don't feel the season is meshing like I needed to. Again, thank you for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. And until the next one, peace.